1,000 net worth ahead of the gyrocopter and even more ahead of the tiny of maybe. So important kills going LGD's way.
Yeah, these are farmed cores. You get those kills early, and it really does equalize things.
Ooh,
they TP in the gyro. They're going to relocate forward, maybe, finding the Avatos directly up and down, but there's a grave from Kuro, from Puppey to try and turn this. Now the death ward from Kuro driving them back. LGD forced to disengage. They may leave the tiny here. Now they're just going to back off towards mid and go farming. Still, they chase on the Puppey. They know the Grave's on cooldown. They might be able to make a play here. The Rocket Barrage coming through. He can't get out. Fissure cuts off any chance at retreat, but wasn't even needed in the end. LGD taking the fight to Secret, who, meanwhile, are pushing top with Zai, it looks like. Seems like Secret are waiting on their first round of key items at this point. The mech on Zai about to come out. That's the type of item that can turn a fight like that one we just saw bottom.
This is LGD willing to commit as many heroes as possible to make sure fights and just early objectives kind of go their way. In this case, it's just been a few kills here or there. The Disruptor glimpse back on Shadowfiend there as he TP'd in, very crucial. But for Secret, they're much more about splitting their resources, getting farm on all 5 of their heroes. They're known for having really farm supports. In this case, it was the Darkseer pushing a Tier 1 tower in the offlane, working towards his mech. And Secret aren't going to be too worried about losing a Dazzle bottom there when it's LGD 5-manning and they're getting stuff else around the map.
This bottom lane looks a little dangerous. No TP on Kuro. S4 doesn't want to leave him alone to the Wolves. And now out the Courier flies. It is bringing a TP, so he'll have that option. They even have to rotate a third hero in Puppey, but already LGD, they're satisfied with what they got. They back off. Sylar completing the drums, going for that utility early pressure build that we see from a lot of gyrocopters now, and leaving way for maybe to be the hard carry. And now decision time comes, gods. 13 minutes in. It's basically a dead even game here. Only a 1,500 gold lead for Secret. Does he want the blink? Yes, sir, he does. What do you think? Is this going to work out?
Yeah, it seems to suit maybe his playstyle more. It allows him to be aggressive, go for kills, and as much as he does play more of that one position now as far as farm priority goes over Sylar, he loves to be involved in any and all action. It's the LGD way. If there's a fight going on, all 5 of your heroes are there, so gives him that initiation. Unfortunately, the window for using this item while Arteezy isn't BKB is quickly ending. Arteezy now just a couple hundred away, actually has BKB money, so that means it's not going to be quite as potent for killing him, but if anything, he wants to blow up the Dazzle. He wants to blow up the Witch Doctor. If you go on someone else, they're going to get graved and kept alive. If you can find a Dazzle or a Witch Doctor, that's an insta-KO.
Meanwhile, Secret want to fight around the mech that's been freshly purchased by Zai. Now up to another 700 gold. They don't have the level 2 Queen of Pain ult just yet, and they are rotating 4 all the way through the middle lane. They may run into maybe in a bad position here. 3 in the river. Blink back out. Well, the Blink coming in handy there. Now it's MMY's turn to run, but they don't have a Tier 1 top. They get a little bit of vision. He's got a haste turn. They both can escape here. LGD wasting a lot of Secret's time, and it looks like they should get out with no casualties. One more blink into the trees. The TP out. He's got it. Not using it just yet. They're holding for a relocated. They may even go in on Kuro, who's run right by MMY. The haste is there. The cast not going to bounce, and the commitment tethers back. They look to engage. The mech is in play, though. This could completely turn the fight. Not sure if LGD got their eyes on it before the fight broke out. Maybe a dangerous one from the backside comes Yao, rushing in with Sylar together. The code out. Doing work. Zai about to drop his ult. A double off the bat for Sylar. S4 forced to blink away. They get the tiny but heavy cost for that one, gods. 3 heroes down, including the Darkseer, who just completed his mech. And meanwhile, Arteezy looking for the trade as he goes from the tower mid. He's got a BKB Requiem this one. He does do a lot of damage. Brings down MMY, not respecting the Requiem, and they even gets the tower as well. When the dust settles, not a terrible trade for Secret, although it looked pretty bad at first.
Yeah, it looked bad at first. Great flank coming from LGD. Io and Tiny bought so much time for backup to arrive. Unfortunately, they still lose the Tiny there. Io trying to heal him up with the tether and the overcharge, but just couldn't quite block enough of the damage there. So didn't go as well as LGD would have hoped for, considering they had kind of positional advantage. They got Io and Tiny out of there. They figured out exactly where Secret had 4 heroes, but they couldn't keep Tiny alive, and then they lose that Wisp as well as Tier 1 tower mid. Means Arteezy is suddenly looking fantastic. He's got 1,300 gold after the BKB, 2,000 net worth ahead of Sylar's gyrocopter. He is really out of control.
And not even mentioning the Tiny in this game, which we have seen Tinies in the past historically. They have an Ags by now. They're clearing big ancient stacks. By no means the case for Maybu. Still feels rather far behind to fight, despite all the fights that he has been involved in. As we just saw, the Earthshaker of Yao, this could be the next big item for LGD. He's just about picked up the Blink. In fact, just purchased it. And he is level 8 now, so he's got 2 points in the Aftershock here. But it almost feels like LGD have to fight right now. If they want to play the farm game, they don't really have the farming items. No Helm of the Dominator on the Gyrocopter of Sylar, no Ags on the Tiny. And Shadow Fiend alone is just going to be able to turbo farm way more than these heroes.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get into a full-on farming game against Team Secret right now. Queen of, you've got a window, especially before Queen of Pain really finishes any major item. S4 going to be going for, it looks like, Hex, not the Orchid. I think just recognizing that both, Gyro, Tiny, both going to be BKB carries, and the Orchid isn't going to be coming in a timely fashion for S4.
It's so good against Wisp as well. Tries to go for the defensive relocates. If you find the Wisp, oh, there's your Blake in. But Puppey with the quick grave. He was ready for this one. They're going to glimpse him on back. Is there going to be a kinetic field follow-up? Fissure blocking Puppey away, but it should be enough with... Nope, there's the mech. Zai will bail him out. Very nicely played by Secret. Good defensive retreat, and they dodge a bullet. It does force a 4-hero rotation bottom, which allows LGD to put a little extra pressure mid, but look who's wrapping around with an Invis rune. It's Arteezy coming from the north. No sentries in sight. This could be a total disaster for LGD. Let's see if he finds the opening here. He's got the BKB as well. Only a toss to really do anything about it. Oh, but right as he moves, an MMY just happened to be tethering away with Sylar. They have a toss. They engage with the Fissure.
Echo.
He doesn't get off the BKB. Yeah, was ready with the Blink Echo. That is another costly death for Arteezy, who continues to farm out of control, but so much of the value he's gaining is being given right back to LGD by these kills.
Yeah, just kind of weird timing where Arteezy shows himself as the Wisp tethers out. He's thinking, okay, if he's not tethering, I can maybe just quickly double raise and get a quick kill. And then the combo from LGD to kill him. He had no chance to BKB. Unless he preemptively BKBs as soon as Tiny's in range before he blinks, but... that's just like not really efficient BKB usage, so LGD just capitalizing on maybe a small mistake from Artur.
And it's something you've talked about so often when we've cast together, is that Earthshaker is such a good counter for BKBs. Even though they block pretty much all of the damage from his ultimate, it's the instant stun that can just give you fits as a hero like a Shadow Fiend.
When there's that one carry hero, everyone's seen the famous Envy clip where it's like he's yelling at his Earthshaker just to blink Echo Slam the enemy Gyrocopter. This is the hero. You can instantly just KO and cause so much problems with that Blink ulti, killing off enemy cores. In this case, it's going to be the Shadow Fiend of Arteezy who's going to be the main target of the Earthshaker. Yeah, there's a grave sitting behind him, but the beauty of this is after the Echo Slam you have a Fissure, so that Fissure's always going to be headed the direction where Dazzle's waiting for the grave, so potentially you don't even get that grave off.
Well, completed BKB on the way for Sylar. Courier flying out now, I believe. Yeah, there you go. And with that, he gets a whole lot tankier, and the difference for Secret is until they get that Hex, they don't have the same level of blow a hero up potential. This is going to allow LGD to 5-man if they'd like.
We talked about maybe playing more of a one position, but this is a game where he's actually not really fulfilling that role. He went back and completed drums. It's been Sylar who's actually getting more of the farm this game than the Tiny.
It seems like the way the flow of the game is developing, LGD feel like they can just fight Secret. They've been winning most of the skirmishes. I think it's confidence more than anything. We could farm, and we have great late game, but let's just do what's working. Let's keep on punching and make Secret come to us. They are moving in like they want to go. There's an Observer Ward scouting out Arteezy, but a lot of backup for him. LGD, they might be confident in some of the fights, but this would be a full 5v5 clash, so they want to approach it just right. Maybe moving in from the north, Secret positioned quite well behind the tower. They drop an Observer through the tree line, so not going to be spotted by LGD here. And it's out of range of the Sentry in the woods.
They were waiting out the Echo Slam, which just comes back
Here comes the smoke. This could be tough, though. Sylar, a tough hero to initiate on. They don't have the best lockdown to prevent that BKB, and there is the threat of a Shaker counterplay with Arteezy and S4 showing like this, and nobody else on the map. LGD are going to back off and force Secret to show themselves.
Yeah, so I don't think Secret can make much. And good point you mentioned that. Secret, this is kind of a classic draft. They don't actually draft normally around having a lot of control and disables, but there's no way for them to really jump Gyrocopter and kill him, preventing a BKB. They haven't got like a Blink Lion Hex. They haven't got a Blink Echo Slam from an Earthshaker. They only have Witch Doctor cast, which, well, you see coming. You can easily dodge it. That's where S4 is going for this Hex Rush as well. This is going to be the way they can actually gank and take out these of core heroes.
Puppey, not where he wants to be. Avalanche toss, dunked by Maybe. That was just too easy. He thought he was safe with the Observer Ward as well as the Sentry, but guess what? The Sentry is just out of range of the Dire Observer, and Bit unfortunate there for Puppy. Ends up going down, but already Secret looking for the trade. Arteezy pressuring the mid lane, forcing out a quick glyph. This is before LGD even starts hammering on that tier 1 bottom, and just good at making the best out of a bad situation is Secret in general. And we see it again here. Not even going for the tower bottom. LGD felt like they could have taken that freely, but because of Arteezy's counterplay mid, they're forced to back off.
Arteezy's in a really deep position. We'll find a courier. No, he won't find the courier.
They have a glimpse. There's your initiation again from Yao. They go in with the dunk. The grave from Puppy could turn this. No, he didn't get it off in time. Oh, he could have grave first, but he went for the weave instead. It's going to cost him heavily, as LGD now can go down mid for a tier 1, even a better tower to take than that tower in the bottom lane. And no way Secret can defend this without their Queen of Pain.
Yeah, Arturo went off to the Dire Secret shop trying to snipe a courier while that was going on. I actually thought he was maybe in a bad position to get caught out by another Blink Echo Slam or Tiny combo, but LGD find a key pick off, get a tower out of it. This is to me, this is the best team in the tournament when it comes to just taking objectives. They're so good at turning a kill, or even not even a kill. They just they force their opponents to move around the map and rotate and just create space for towers to drop. They're just really good at. It's kind of 5-manning a lot of the time, but they do it in such a way where they never really put themselves in harm's way.
And they have been catching up as far as the farm goes on the back of those objectives. It's not like all they're doing is 5-manning. The Gyrocopter of Sylar, only 30 CS behind Arteezy, which is a much smaller percentage difference than what we saw earlier. Even in the case of maybe's Tiny, he's not quite there with the enemy Darkseer, and certainly not with Arteezy Shadow Fiend, but he is catching up nicely here, Gods, and once he gets the Ags, the farm will accelerate. Yep. Suddenly, Sylar with 3,000 gold, maybe closing in on the Aghanims, and here we go mid, looking for the jump. There's 5. Avatos to start. They're going to relocate in the Wisp, joined by the Gyrocopter of Sylar, who immediately rushes in. The Death Ward's going to punish that IO off the bat. It's Sylar next. It's a full duration Death Ward, only now canceled out by the Fissure of Yao, but it took too long, and 3 end up falling on the back of it. Kuro making the plays here for Secret. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, just Secret were in position. This is how the fights are meant to go for Secret. Arteezy on the front lines with the Grave protection, and they throw everything at Arteezy. They didn't have anything left to cancel that Death Ward, and a BKB Gyrocopter on the front lines is not as scary as you'd hope for when you're tanking a full duration Death Ward.
You've got the minus armor coming out from the now max Shadow Fiend passive. The Death Ward does a lot of work, and the weave starts to tick in over the course of these fights. So something LGD will have to respect, and this may give them pause in the upcoming team fights. And we see Secret, although it's not a reliable team fight, if they get it off, it is every bit as devastating as LGD's.
Yeah, I think that's going to be kind of an awakening for LGD. Like, okay, this Death Ward is actually a big problem. Because of all that minus armor you mentioned from the Shadow Fiend and the Dazzle, you have to make sure that Death Ward isn't on Sylar during his BKB. Otherwise, he's going to melt, because he's fairly squishy to the physical damage. He's got to worry about the Shadow Fiend right clicks. You don't want to have him worrying about a Death Ward as well.
Maybe just marching into the enemy woods right past the Radiant Observer. He has eyes on Puppy, who backs off here. Yeah, this is a bold maneuver.
It's like there's no Requiem.
He doesn't have, only now
no
is anybody even in the neighborhood, but no BKB, just counting on quick reactions with the Blink should anyone go his way. Mid lane, meanwhile, Blink forward, looking for MMY, a bit too tanky, courtesy of the Buckler, and MMY has done a pretty good job of keeping up his far in this game on the Wisp. Considering how the game started, mech almost complete now. That armor will definitely help versus Secret, maybe even more so than the heal that we normally look at the mech for.
Yeah, that last fight, if he had a mech, could have gone very differently, because at the start of the fight, he tanked a lot of damage, almost was able to heal himself back up and stay alive, but just couldn't quite do it. So nice item choice from him. Gyrocopter going to be going for Butterfly, which will help deal with a lot of the physical damage output. It not only gives him the evasion, but also just a little boost to his armor because of all the agility you get. So very important item choice coming out.